Do you or somebody that you love know somebody on dialysis or in kidney failure? ESRD, end-stage renal disease, is a serious disease that inflicts the kidneys and their function. People with end-stage renal disease only have about 15% of function compared to a normal patient having 100% function. I've learned a lot working at DaVita for the last year and getting to speak with coworkers who have worked in dialysis for multiple years at a time. From learning from all of these very accredited dialysis nurses, techs, social workers, I've gotten to learn a lot about the topic. So with dialysis and ESRD, your whole life changes. Everything from your diet to relationships and even your schedule. So what is kidney failure? Well, your kidneys, to start, function by filtering out your toxins and waste and fluid that you drink and take on a daily basis. For a patient on dialysis, they are not able to remove those products, so they need help doing so. That's when dialysis comes into play, and we hook them up to these machines to be able to make sure that everything's being removed from fluid to potassium, sodium, and phosphorus, any other kind of minerals or vitamins that their body is retaining. A lot of patients that have issues with fluid gains do experience mild to severe discomforts when on dialysis. These patients can experience low blood sugar, low blood pressure. They can experience headaches, cramping, nausea. It can't be pleasant sometimes, and especially when their fluid gains are over. In-center hemodialysis is not a patient's only option. There are options for peritoneal dialysis, which is a catheter in your peritoneum, which uses a sugar concentrate to pull fluids and toxins out instead of through the blood in a dialyzer. There's another kind of hemodialysis that patients can do at home where they must stick themselves in buttonholes. These patients typically have a pretty good support system at home to be able to help, and they can do it at any time during the day, whenever they have a moment to just sit and let the process run. PD seems to be easier on a patient's body than any kind of hemodialysis, mostly because they're able to run every night, whereas in hemodialysis, we're only running 3 days a week for 3 to 5 hours a day. Sometimes those fluid pulls can be heavy and cause a lot of pain. With PD, you're doing it every day, usually a little bit more lax on your diet and fluid restriction. A lot of patients prefer PD, but for some, it's much easier just to come into the clinic 3 days a week. So what are the changes that you have to make with dialysis and having ESRD? To start is your diet. With a renal diet, you need to be sure to limit processed foods and make sure that you're taking action and looking at your nutrition labels. You want low sodium, low phosphorus, low potassium, low calcium. A lot of these minerals and additives can cause fluid gain and weight gain and toxic gain, which in turn can make your labs worse, and usually treatment is not so fun. We do really push fresh fruits and vegetables, only some of them. Limited fruits would be like watermelon, which is mostly water content, or lettuce, which has a lot of water content. We do encourage for high protein meals. Those high proteins kind of bulk up the body and help with treatment and feelings of low blood pressure on treatment. So as far as the fluid restriction, we do mostly say 15 to 2,000 milliliters per day, and that can be difficult, especially during the summer months, and depending on the foods you eat. If you have a lot of sodium intake, you're pretty thirsty. We do encourage you to avoid dark soda. It is high in phosphorus. Citric drinks, tomato juice, energy drinks. These are really high in potassium, alcohol that will go ahead and dehydrate you and cause strain when you're on the machine. We do have some tips and tricks. A lot of patients have dry mouth. We do encourage not to drink more. Diet. Some patients have difficulty with their jobs. Not all patients are elderly, and they do still have careers, kids, jobs, extracurricular activities, and hobbies. Dialysis can be hard trying to schedule everything. More times than not, your chair is given to you by the facility based on their staff availability and chair availability. With that being said, lots of patients that still have children do prefer PD, children, careers, things that they do during the day that keeps them busy. They prefer PD, which they can do overnight. Having healthy relationships and support is very important for these patients. They have to go through a lot. Treatment's not fun. They're giving away time and energy that they don't normally have anyway, trying to learn a new diet. They don't get to eat and drink like they used to. So it can be really hard. We do encourage patients to come to us with any questions. Feel free to reach out to your dialysis staff and make sure that everything is going correctly. Family and friends can help you at home. A lot of times our PD patients will have somebody move into the home with them that is able to help take care of them if they live alone. It's definitely encouraged to find a group of people that may be suffering the same disease as you, group therapies and meetings, or even just talking with your fellow dialysis patients when you're sitting here in the chair. So now that we know what ESRD is and all the things that it can change, that can be a lot for just one person and even a whole family. Understanding a little bit about ESRD patients and dialysis can help you understand how somebody is dealing with ESRD or dialysis. Many people deal with this disease and it affects more than just them normally. Having knowledge and education about the subject is not widely covered and can really help you understand how others are dealing and feeling. And sometimes even knowing what they're going through might help you with something you're going through.